Okay, so, and a third part under the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also. The king is David. But the people answered, Thou shalt not go forth. For if we flee away, they will not care for us, neither if half of us die. They will care for us. But now thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore now it is better that thou secure us out of the city. Basically make of security. Assist, secure. To help. To make sure. Yeah, like this one. Sorry. Right. Secure us out of the city, basically to make sure that we we make it. Protect, security, all that there. And the king said unto them, What seemeth you best, I will do. And remember, it was Ahithophel that wanted him dead, because Ahithophel said, We will smite only the king. Damn it, I'm coughing the whole time. Wait, sorry. Right, it is here. 2 Samuel chapter 17. So Ahithophel told Absalom, basically, that I will smite the king only, and the rest of the people that are with him shall flee. So therefore, the men that were with the king that day, in the next chapter, of course, and I just read 17 now, and I'm reading 18. They said like he is 1,000 times more worth, because they know that he is the one that they want to kill. Ahithophel and Absalom, his son Absalom wanted to murder him. They wanted actually only him. Okay, so it says here, verse 4, and the king said unto them, What seemeth you best, I will do. And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people came out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai the Gittite, saying, Deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. Remember this. He told them, deal gently with Absalom, my son, for my sake. Do it for me. You have to also understand that, not understand, but you have to also know that Joab and Abishai, they're angry. Because he was trying to kill him. Because he's trying to kill, they're trying to kill King David and stuff like that. And put them in danger too. And they kind of was thinking, especially him. So the people, So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the wood of Ephraim. Wherefore the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David. And there was a great slaughter that day of 20,000 men. Yeah, man, because the people of Israel, they joined forces with Absalom, the northern tribes, and because he basically melted their hearts by giving them favors and stuff like that. And then they joined forces with him because he gave counsels in their favor, as a judge. Absalom did that to them. Verse 8. For the battle was there scattered over the face of all the country, and the wood devoured more people that day than the sword devoured the forest. So let me see. Okay, cool. Verse 9. And Absalom met the servants of David. And Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule went under the thick bough of a great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak. And he was taken up between the heaven and the earth. He was in the air. And the mule that was under him went away. So he was stuck in the thick bushes of a great oak, which is an oak tree. The leaves, the branches, sorry, thereof. And a certain man saw it and told Joab. So he was there for a little while. He was so stuck he couldn't get out. And he was often cutting his hair because his hair was long. Every year he cut his hair one time, and his hair grew back very fast. And said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanging in an oak. And Joab said unto the man that told him, And behold, thou sawest him? And why didst thou not smite him to the ground? Basically, why didn't you kill him right there? Remember that King David told him, don't kill him. He wanted him dead, man. And I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a girdle for your horse. Or no. This one is the one that you have around your middle as a man, or your horse. One of those two. You know, it's a horse saddle. But 10 shekels of silver, it might seem like that's not a lot of money. That's actually a lot of money. It's just because it shows you right here. Where was that again? Judges 7. Judges 17. So the book of Judges, the book of Judges, chapter 17, verse 10. And Micah said unto him, Dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest, and I will give thee 10 shekels of silver by the year. So that's a year amount of money. That 10 shekels of silver, that's a year's amount of money. And a suit of apparel, and thy victuals, which is food. So the Levi went in. But they was doing wicked stuff, because this is supposed to be a Levite of the Lord. And I already read this chapter, so yeah. If you want to know about it, Lord willing, that's it. I got this already here. Yeah, so I don't even have to explain, because I caught myself right there, because I was going to talk again. Let me leave it at that. Let me go back to over here. But anyway, so the thing is 10 shekels of silver. That's a year's worth of money. Same thing with the woman. If he was to take a daughter of Israel, 22, I think. Yeah, if he was to take a daughter of Israel, then you would have to, if you humble her. If you know what this means, if you know what this means, then you know. Then you would have to pay 50 shekels of silver. So yeah, let that sink in. That's already 5 years of work. 5 years of work would then you would be able to pay for her after humbling her against her will. And yeah, and if you lie upon an Israelite daughter, like a daughter of Israel, if you lie and you say she's not a virgin, she's a hoe, and she was, and it says here, and you're lying, then you need to pay 100 shekels of silver. So what does that teach you? It's better to rape a daughter of Israel than to lie on her virginity, talking about, she was no virgin, man. She was a loose goose. That'll get your ass whooped. Plus, that'll bankrupt the shit out you. That's a lot of years of working, boy. You know, it's 10 years. 1 year is 10 shekels of silver. 100 is then therefore 10. So yeah, don't lie on an Israelite woman, like a daughter of Jacob. Don't lie on them. Talking about, yeah, man, she was no virgin when I met her, man. What? Yeah, you in trouble for that. Plus, you're gonna get your ass whooped, because it says it right here. You're gonna get that beating, the stick. You're gonna chasten that man. You know, so right. Don't rape. I'm just making a joke. But if you read the scripture, that's actually what it implies. But yeah. And it's the truth, so it is the truth. So right, so 10 shekels of silver and a girdle. And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in my hand, yet would I not put forth mine hand against the king's son. This man had honor, he had also fear, which is a good thing. For in our hearing the king charged thee, yes, in verse 5, he charged you, deal gently with the young man, even Absalom, for my sake. Don't hurt him. For in our hearing the king charged thee, and Abishai, and Ittai, saying, beware that none touch the young man Absalom. He told you not to do it. You know, so I heard that and I wouldn't kill him. I'd rather tell you. Otherwise, I should have wrought falsehood against mine own life. That is the truth. Because it's very dangerous if you still want to do it. For there is no matter hid from the king. He gonna find out, man. And thou thyself wouldst have set thyself against me. Yeah. Because he's that type of hypocrite. You know, why did you kill him? Beat him up and stuff like that. Then said Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee. I'm not going to be around here with you. And he took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them through the heart of Absalom while he was, sorry, it's going to say, while he was yet alive in the midst of the yoke. So he was stuck, floating in the air, because it says he was between, where is it again? Here. He was taken up between the heaven and the earth. He was floating in the air. And you have pictures of it online. Let me see. Oh, no. Absalom. But you're going to see an Edomite, of course. You know, as usual. And you're going to see a orange-haired devil, too. Same color as the leather. So it's kind of brownish. Orange hair. Yeah, so it's not red. It's brownish, if you can see it. Brownish. Orange-ish. Like autumn leaves, you know, when they drop, when they're dead. Here you got a leper, a yellow-haired one. Well, actually, it's the leprosy of the scalp, actually, I should say. Because this is a leper, too. He's a clean leper. And this is a clean leper, too. But anyway, enough of that. So, basically, you have that then there. And here you have the stupidity of arrows. That's not arrows, that's darts. He threw darts at him. It's not arrows. But yeah, so yeah, he got stuck there. But it was not an Edomite, by the way. Let me go on. Okay, cool. So it says here. Okay, why is it okay? Verse 15. And 10 young men bare Joab's armor, compassed about and smote Absalom and slew him. So they kept on stabbing him and stuff like that. You know, that was brutality. And Joab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel, which is the northern tribes. For Joab held back the people, because he's a man of war, man. This guy, he was a very powerful warrior. And they took Absalom and cast him into a great pit in the wood, and laid a very great heap of stones upon him. And all Israel fled every one to his tent. Now Absalom in his lifetime had reared up for himself a pillar, which is in the king's dale. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. That also shows you that it's the son that you need to have in order for you to be, how you call that thing? Established, I should say. Because if you don't have a son, according to the book of Numbers chapter 27 and Numbers chapter 36, if you don't have a son and you only have daughters, then your name would be lost. That's why when a man doesn't have a son and he dies, then the brother is supposed to make a child with the woman. You know, and yeah, hoping that the child would be a boy, of course. But yeah, then you would have to do that. And or the other one nowadays is when you die and have no daughters, no sons, then and only daughters, then your daughters get to have your inheritance, but your daughters are not allowed to go outside of their tribe. And also, the people that don't have children, don't worry, just stick to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because it shows you right here, Isaiah 56 and Let me see, 3. Neither let the son of the stranger that had joined himself to the Lord Yahweh speak, saying, Yahweh had utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, Behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith Yahweh unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant, even unto them. The eunuchs is a man that has no children. There are 3 types of eunuchs. One that is castrated by man. The other is born impotent, he can't get a stiffy. And the other one made himself a eunuch for the Heavenly Father's sake. Because if you have women, he that has a wife, dealeth, it says it right here. Here, verse 33, 1 Corinthians 7:33. But he that is married carried for the things of the world, how he may please his wife. Always trying to go on vacation, doing fun things to keep your wife not bored. Because as soon as she get bored, she's out of here. She's gone. Even if you got millions, you're taking her all over the world and all that there. You might go to a poor country, and she might see a dude that get her moist. You know what I'm saying? And hey, you know, she's gone for a few seconds with the wind, that he may please his wife. So if you don't give her enough attention, if you need money and attention sometimes for all the times actually for a woman, but sometimes, a lot of times also, that is not enough for them. They don't know what they want. So yeah, if you have a loyal one, then it's good. Good for you, actually, I should say. Yeah. But others don't seek, so that's even better. But in the chapter that I was just reading, 1 Corinthians 7, it shows you that Paul said, I would rather that ye be like me, seeking no woman. So Matthew 19:12, for there are some eunuchs which were so born of their mother's womb, from their mother's womb. And there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, they are castrated. And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. So the ones that made themselves eunuchs, if you are able to receive it, then do it. Because it's very hard for a lot of men to not be with women and not have sex with women and deal with women and have women in their life or in their phone or something like that. They go buck wild crazy. You know, so if you are able to do it, you do it. If you don't, you get yourself a woman. You know, so yeah. So for Isaiah 65:4, for thus saith Yahweh unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant, even to them will I give in mine house, which is the universe, and within my walls a place, which is Jerusalem, just the nation of Israel, right? A place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Because normally your name is gone at your individual house name. Your name, the one of your brother goes on, the one of your father goes on. Yes, that is your father's your house, your bloodline. You are of your father's bloodline, and you are also of your brother's bloodline because he's your father's child also. So it's not like that, like extermination, but your individual name is cut off. Like, for example, the house of David. The house of David is not the house of his brother's name. What's his brother's name again? Damn. Oh, man. I forgot his brother's name. Let me see. I don't know, man. I think it's here somewhere. This is not his firstborn. Wait. Chronicles. This one. So Jesse, his firstborn was Eliab, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think it was him. So the house of Eliab is not the house of David, but the house of Jesse is all of them, like all the sons that came out of Jesse. So I hope you understand what I just said. But yeah, you are then therefore not an your household is basically going to be cut off, you know. So yeah, to a certain degree. But like I said, your individual household, like I gave the example, you have the house of David as an individual, and then you have the house of his all his brothers, by the way. Those are all individual houses of their own, but all of them are the house of Jesse. So it's still Jesse's seed, but it's just not your individual house line, bloodline anymore, because you're dead, or you don't have any sons. Yeah, while you was alive and stuff, you know, even after your death. Right. So 2 Samuel 18 and 18. No, yeah. And he called the pillar after his own name, and it is called unto this day Absalom's place, where he died. No, wait, let me read it again. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared up for himself a pillar, which is in the king's dale. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar after his own name, and it is called unto this day Absalom's place. Right, that one. So going on, so let me read 19 and I think it was this is another subtitle, another sub paragraph, I think, if I said it right. So the subtitle of this one is let me see, until we're 33. The subtitle is titled David told of Absalom's death. I think I could read it until 33. Yeah. Okay, verse 19. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, let me now run, because he was a runner. See, this is that word, if I'm correct. These are the you had the runners. Damn, I forgot the word. It's the word of couriers. Those are these men. Well. Where is it? Here. One of these two. I think this one is guards and captains, and this one is couriers, or one of those two. Right, but he was a runner. You had runners for King David, you had couriers, but there was warriors too. There was not just runners for bringing messages and stuff like that. Let me now run and bear the king's tidings, how that Yahweh had avenged him of his enemies. And Joab said unto him, Thou shalt not bear tidings this day, but thou shalt bear tidings another day. But this day thou shalt bear no tidings, because the king's son is dead, and you killed him. Think it's funny, but yeah, it is judgment, but still, he didn't want that. The king didn't want that. Then said Joab to Cushi, and by the way, Cushi is Cush, but you had Israelites with those names, you know. So yeah, go tell the king what thou hast seen. And Cushi bowed himself unto Joab and ran. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, yet again to Joab, but howsoever, let me, I pray thee, also run after Cushi. And Joab said, Wherefore wilt thou run, my son, seeing that thou hast no tidings ready? But howsoever, said he, let me run. And he said unto him, Run. Then Ahimaaz ran by the way of the plain and overran Cushi, because he was faster than him. And David sat between the two gates, and the watchman went up to the roof over the gate unto the wall, and lifted up his head and looked, and behold, a man running alone. And the watchman cried and told the king. And the king said, If he be alone, there is tidings in his mouth. And he came apace and drew near. And the watchman saw another man running. And the watchman called unto the porter and said, Behold, another man running alone. And the king said, He also bringeth tidings. And the watchman said, Me thinking the running of the foremost is like the running of Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok. Because they knew he was a speedy mother bastard. He was a speedster. That's where you get stuff like the Flash and stuff like that. Because they knew, like, hey, man, ain't nobody run like him. You had a lot of other, not a lot, but you had a few others, I should say. Well, actually, it's a lot, but they're just not written. But yeah, you had a lot of other Israelites that was amazingly fast. And they was like, what the hell? King David was fast. He had hen's feet, And if you don't know anything about a hen, like a deer, they're very jumpy. You know what I'm saying? They're very fast. And they're gone. You can't catch them. Anyway, so when if you as a man would run after them trying to catch them, good luck. You can't even catch a cat, But as if a cat is easy to catch. But yeah, still, let me go on. So, and the king said, He is a good man and cometh with good tidings. And Ahimaaz called and said unto the king, All is well. And he fell down to the earth, upon his face. What? And he fell down to the earth upon his face before the king, and said, Blessed be Yahweh thy power, which had delivered up the men that lifted up their hand against the Lord, my lord, the king. And the king said, Is the young man Absalom safe? Is he safe? And Ahimaaz answered, When Joab sent the king's servant, When Joab sent the king's servant, and me, thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I know not what it was. And the king said unto him, Turn aside, and stand here. And he turned aside and stood still. Basically, he told them, okay, be quiet and go stand over there. Because he didn't tell him anything. He didn't tell him the truth. And behold, Cushi came, and Cushi said, Tidings, my lord the king. For Yahweh had avenged thee this day of all them that rose up against thee. And the king said unto Cushi, Is the young man Absalom safe? And Cushi answered, The enemies of my lord the king, and all that rise against thee to do thee hurt, be as that young man is. Basically, everybody is dead, including him. That's what he said. Everyone that wanted to do you hurt, he is like one of them, which is dead. And the king was much moved, and went up to the chamber of the gate, and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would the heavenly Father I had died for thee. O Absalom, my son. So he wanted to die instead of Absalom, man. That's because of this that happened right here. The curse that the Heavenly Father put upon David and his household. 2 Samuel chapter 2 verse 8. And I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives into thy bosom. That's what the Heavenly Father gave unto King David. Because if you don't know, back in the ancient times, you had all the nations have it, by the way, and the Israelites have it too. And this is the Lord sanctioned it, so it is a good lawful thing. So what did the Lord do as a sanctioned thing, a rule that is written? It is like this: if a king has been taken over by another king, just like in the Lion Kingdom, when a lion comes and he kills or he beats him up, or he kills the lion, or he beats him up and he flees away, then the lion would come and kill all his children, and then take all his women and have sex with them and bring forth his own seed. Well, that's kind of the way of man also, like human beings, people, because the heathen nations did it too. The Ishmaelites did it, and by the way, the Ishmaelites, they also knew the Lord's ways. That's why the word Ishmael means he has heard of the power, he has heard of the Most High. Right? because it is Abraham his son, you know, because he did teach him things. And Esau knows also he teach him things also, but he just didn't want to listen to the Most High. And Ishmael, he wanted to listen, but he wanted to listen to his own God, you know. So he heard of the Most High. That's why they, until this day, they're very strongly related to their God. Esau is strongly related to Satan, but his power is as a whole comes from Satan with the disguise of Caesar Borgia. They disguise themselves as biblical people, as you can see here. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 15, sorry. 11 verse 14 and 15. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers, his servants, also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness. So who are the ministers of Satan? These people. To a lot of people upon the planet Earth, these are the holy men of the Lord, of Caesar Borgia, I should say. These are the holy men of Jeezy Creasy. You know that nutcase? That guy. Jeezy Creasy. This guy too. These are his ministers. They look like as if they don't touch children. Like, I look at these little paws and I'm thinking to myself, I already get disgusted by just looking at them. Shit. But anyway, so like, when I see this, I see all the cartoons and memes, you know. What's the cartoon name? Damn. See? They already make jokes. There's already jokes being made around here concerning these things. You already should know what type of jokes they're gonna bust, right? You should know, right? They're gonna bust jokes. They're making jokes on their own people, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So it's like, you know how crazy this thing is, man? They got jokes on this, man. They got jokes of little boys getting like little boy butt busters. You know, Ghostbusters? They're little boy butt busters and stuff like that. And these people make jokes about it like it's funny. You know, Edomites always say, like, for example, when their Edomite friend is talking about killing people, they always say, I just thought he was joking. I thought he was sincere. What the fuck you talking about, man? You hear this guy talking about killing people on a straight crazy tip, like shoot the school or kill my mother and all that type of stuff. And then you gonna look at him and tell the police, hey man, I've seen it so many times, man. It's just ridiculous, man. And then they tell the police, like, yeah, I just thought he was joking. I didn't take him serious. What? Yo, if somebody tell me like I want to kill my mother and stuff like that, first and foremost, I'm not your friend. I'll never come to your motherfucking house again. And if it's a Jake woman, I'll tell them, hey, better watch out for your son. He's trying to kill you. You know, Lord willing, I never had nobody tell me that about his mother or his father or something like that. I do know about siblings. They never told me they want to kill their siblings, but they do. I know that some of them hate each other, so I do know that. You don't have to tell me, you know, because you know, family members like in my father's side, mother's side, they be hating on each other for like inheritances and stuff like that. Like my grandmother, grandfather on both sides, they might have left something. And back in the days, you have to understand, you had families, not understand, wait, that's a stupid word, as if I'm having sympathy for them. No, that's not what I mean. I wanted to say this. You have to understand, back in the days, you had families of 16 kids, 15 kids and stuff like that, because that's where I came from. 15, 16 kids, grandmother and stuff like that. And both sides. And then you would, you know, they would fight each other. They would fight each other for inheritance because our people didn't have a lot back then, but they did have farms and stuff like that. They'd have land, but not land for 15 kids, man, 16 kids, man. You know, and all of them greedy. They're gonna want to fight each other, and they do. And then they never talk to each other again. Some of them, you know, they really want to have to fist fight, shit like that, threaten on death. Like, fuck, I'm gonna kill you. If you come around here, you ain't getting nothing. Stuff like that. So it's fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. So yeah, that part. But anyway, these Edomites, they got jokes about these things, man. And it's not even funny. I'll laugh at them because they're Edomites, but yeah, it's still crazy. They make jokes about it. And if it's us, for example, doing other things, man, they're not going to take it. You know what? Let me just read this and then I'll leave it. This is it. Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. If it was us or the heathen nations, for example, the heathen nations, for example, the Ishmaelites, they're called terrorists. But why? Well, they fight and defend their own invaded lands, and then therefore they are called terrorists because they fight the invaders. But nobody calls Esau the terrorist and the invader. They don't do that. And for another example, there have been racist toward our skin color and hair texture for centuries now. 1 century is 100 years. They've been doing that for centuries now. Now, if we start hating them back for their skin color and their hair texture, you're called a racist, even among people of your own. You know, be like, ew, you hate white people. What? What are you talking about, man? You mean hate back? Yeah, but that's reverse racism, man. We're better than that. We're not supposed to be doing things like that. Shut your... You better get away from me, man, because I already see I was Negro. And yeah, that's what's up. I'm sure you're going to die first before them once that time comes. Because you want to join forces for them. Join forces with them. Anyway, so it says here, therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed into the ministers of righteousness. Yeah, they look righteous in the eyes of the people upon the planet Earth, but they're not. They transform themselves into the ministers of righteousness. Everybody, when they see this, they think of these holy things. They don't say fuck, pussy, hoe, bitch. They don't say these words, but they fuck kids though. You think I'm making it up? All I have to do is type in this, man. You know, 1700 priests, clerkies, and all that there. Millions. You know, here. 216,000, more than 200,000. Millions of children in religious groups in England. You know, they got gangbanged. How about that? You know? Reports find victim blaming. Oh, you was dressing so provocative. Well, go. What the fuck are you talking about, man? That's a baby, man. I want to snatch the soul out of certain people, man. But yeah, I don't have the power, so I can't do anything. Anyway, this is a Masonic number on purpose. 333,000 children abused. They're just showing each other off like, yeah, we did that. What you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do shit, bro. What the fuck you ain't gonna do nothing, you know? As a matter of fact, this is what we gonna do to your children. How about that? What are you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing. You're just gonna stick around and make your little videos on YouTube and stuff like that. You ain't killing no one. You ain't doing anything. And if you do anything, we're gonna send your ass to jail so fast that you're gonna be scared even talking against it. And when you talk about it, you're gonna be like, look, I have nothing. I'm not a homophobic. I have nothing against gay people. But that's how scared you are. You're so scared that you have to defend yourself before you say something righteous. You know? That's how scared they made you. You ain't gonna do nothing. That's how Esau be looking at the rest of the Edomites. You ain't gonna do shit. That's what he says in his heart. And also he puffed at them. That's what the Lord said. This is what Esau does. This whole chapter is for the wicked. It's for Esau. It's also the wicked of our own people. But yeah, this one is Esau also. And chapter 9 also. This Psalms chapter 10 verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Everything they do is grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. He doesn't want to take the judgment of the Heavenly Father. He just, this has nothing to do with me. Nigger book. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. That's why he's so bold against China. You go pay taxes. That's why he was bold against the Mexicanos. You're gonna build the wall. Yeah, there's some bold shit that you're saying right there. He does it against other Edomites, you know, of Europe, and amongst themselves, they also puff at themselves against one another. You know, they puff at themselves up against Japan, China, all these places. They even changed the, damn, I call that word again, man. Wow. Constitution, Jack. Here, the Japanese Constitution, it says, Japan's post-World War II Constitution, specifically Article 9, check what it says in their Constitution. Who do you think wrote it? That's fucked up. Another nation wrote your Constitution, what you can keep in your land. This is crazy. Specifically, Article 9 prohibits the nation from maintaining a military for offensive purposes. You know what that means? That means, but recently they kind of broke that. Since World War II. So recently, I think last year. No, they don't have a standing army in the traditional way, but they have this one. They call it the Self-Defense Force. I did a video about this. They call it the Self-Defense Force, and they can't have an actual standing army officially, as in the traditional meaning and sense of the word army. But they do have, wait, I got a video on it. Right, so since 2 years ago, that's the first time Japan unveils biggest military buildup since World War II. So since World War II, they kept quiet. But now they kind of getting bold and all that type of stuff, you know? So they're getting bolder. Because they have that constitution. And who wrote that constitution? Esau. He wrote their constitution. While Japan does not have the While Japan does have the Japan Self-Defense Forces, this thing here, it's officially classified as a defense force rather than a traditional military, and its activities are restricted to self-defense and disaster relief. Who the hell are these devils to tell them, yo, you ain't fighting nobody. Your army is strictly for self-defense and to go help people. That's it. He puffed at them. Oh, sorry. He puffed at them. He puffed at them, man. He telling them what to do, and they're doing it. You know, that's why the Most High is gonna make it to where these they're gonna fight. Ammon is going to fight. Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So it's going to come back on them. This all is going to come back on them. But it's all good. It's good for them too. Fuck them. Because they hate Jake. They hate dark-skinned people in general. So it's not just us. They hate India people too because they're dark. And fuck India too because they hate dark-skinned people too. Everybody wants to be like Esau. They want to look like him and all that there. But anyway, whose end shall be according to their works. So these Edomites that be doing these type of stuff, the ministers of Satan that look all dainty and righteous and don't say cuss words, but they be touching on children. And everybody be like, oh, so holy. Look at their soft-spoken voices. And oh, right. To ask them kids if they was holy. All the millions of kids that they joke upon right now. They're joking, making their little stupid cartoons and joking. Can you imagine somebody that got touched by the church and have to see stuff like that? That shit ain't funny. I don't think it's funny. It's funny that happened to you, but Because you're my enemy anyway, so yeah. But if I have to just sit down and think about it, I'm like, yo, that must be fucked up, man. You know, that's crazy. But yeah, let me go on, finish this off, and here I think, no, here. So it says here, is Absalom saved, right? Oh, I'm already done. Oh, okay. But yeah, yeah, I'm done. So I forgot what I wanted to do here again. Second Maccabees 7. Yeah, I don't know anymore. Yeah, so yeah, all the blessings that we have, they would give up all their riches just for one blessing that we have. You know, these Arabs that got all this money and stuff like that. This is nothing compared to just one blessing. I'm gonna just show you just one simple, well, it's not simple actually, but this is nothing compared to what we're going to have. I mean, that's what I mean with simple. Isaiah 40 and 31, but they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. All the Arabs combined with their trillions of dollars combined, they would give up all their money just for one blessing of ours. One. Do you know, boy, if you could fly, right? Come on, man. Let's say you have $1 trillion, right? And you nearly can't spend that. You can't spend that. In your lifetime, you can't spend it. But let's say somebody put in front of you, or you get $1 trillion, or you get the power to be able to fly for the rest of your life until you die. And by the way, we're going to be immortal, so that's another blessing that they would kill for, die for, sell everything that they have, their souls. They would say they're already selling their souls now for money. How much more for actual, real physical power? Immortality, for example. But anyway, so this is the power of flight. They would give up everything that they have in existence. And you know what? In front of you, $1 trillion or the power to flight. I would take the power to flight. You know why? And then give up my trillions. Oh, wait, I just confused myself. No, I didn't. I said two things at the same time. The one I said was, if somebody come in front of you and put in front of you $1 trillion or the power to take flight, I would choose the power to take flight. Or if I had $1 trillion myself and somebody offered me, would you give up all your $1 trillion just for the power to be able to fly? I would give up all the $1 trillion. You know why? It's very simple. Because with the power of flight, you are able to still make money. You know how many people would come to you or invite you to their party for their 16-year or whatever, man? All these rich people, they would invite you to come and pay you thousands of dollars to just come and do a show. This kind of tap dance shit, because after I said the word show, and I started to think like, wait a minute, you selling yourself. But it's just like a job. It's just like a job, but it's still fucked up, you know. But still, you would be able to live. But if you have that trillion, yeah, I mean, you could do great things, but you can't go when you want and where you want. You don't need a plane. You don't need a car. You can do whatever you want. A lot of things will open up to you. I'm gonna give you an example. Back in the days when women were not allowed to have cars, they couldn't go. Let me see. They couldn't go from. Where's that? They couldn't go from here. Oh wait. Here we go. Right. For example, here, right? How long will it take? It's going to say if I click on it if I'm correct. Oh yeah, it says it right here. I got it. Here, 1 hour. So let's say 2 hours, right? Directions. Let's say 2 hours. Okay, cool cat. Where is it at? Oh man. Okay. Let's say from here to here. I don't know where here is. I think this is what? This is not New Jersey, right? Is it? I don't know. Think so. Wow, what the hell is it so slow? Anyway, man, let me just get to the point. let's say you go from here to here. I don't know if that is New Jersey. I have no idea. I think it's up there. But anyway, let's just say from here to here. I think it is, if I'm correct. Philadelphia. Okay. So let's say it would take you like it would take you an hour, and let's just say 2 hours, man. You go from here to here 2 hours. Okay. If you don't have a car, and back in the days, this is the time of horses and stuff like that, that's going to take you more than 4 hours to get there. And let's say the husband works here and he's gone for 8 hours every day, and then she could just commit adultery, come here with a car, and then go back over here and be back before the husband is back. You know, just an example of a fact, because women do that. And but now she doesn't. Now she can do that because she has a car. But if you take away the car and take away the transportability, availability, then they're stuck in one place. You don't really have freedom to go a lot of places. That's why they're happy now that they are able to do certain things, because, or else they would be stuck. Well, that's you as a man. You're stuck because if you don't have a passport, the caucus is going to allow you to leave the land. Fucking joking. He's going to allow you to leave the. You're stuck. You're stuck just like how women were stuck back in those days. You know, and they're still stuck in certain Middle Eastern countries, and also in India, certain places in India, they're stuck. They can't leave. You ain't going nowhere. China too. There's a lot of women in China stuck. They can't go because certain places in China, it's not fancy. It's very, very freaking 60s and 50s. And North Korea, they're still in the 20s. They ain't going nowhere. As a matter of fact, if you go from there, they're going to kill you or lock you up. And basically, that's a death sentence because you're never getting out. That's why a lot of defectors, what they call it, when they come up out of North Korea, boy, here. And notice it's a lot of women. Notice it's a lot of women. A lot of them. This one, I was looking actually for this one. I think this one is one too. This one is one too. Of course, you have the men too, of course. But this one I really know because, not known, I don't know her, but I know of her. I said it better. And yeah, they're very happy. And the stories that they give you be like, damn, that guy he ain't making no jokes, man. That guy is kind of fucking demonic what he's doing over there. Starving them to death. They eating each other. Fucked up shit, man. Be like, what? That's what he's doing? Damn, that's crazy. But yo, that's what they get, because the Most High said, I will, wait, let me explain it good. Wait, cruel. The Most High set a cruel king over people, right? But in this case, he put a cruel king over the North Koreans, right? Isaiah 14:4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts. In this case, the modern day Egyptians are the Edomites. They're going to have a fierce king. At one point in time, they're going to have a very cruel king over them. I hope it's Trump. Anyway, well, a cruel tyrant will rule over them once that time comes. The Heavenly Father be like, yeah. And then through the scriptures, we gonna know like, oh, that's that guy, you know? And yeah, but now he's putting a cruel king over many of these heathen nations. Vietnam, no, Philistines. Let me see. You have South Korea, very cruel people. I got videos on that, man. Like, something terrible is happening. Something terrible. Fucking cruel tyrants are ruling over these people over there. I'm laughing at that shit, man. Blessed. Let me leave it with this one, okay? Because I notice I'm talking. Wait, where is it again? And wait. Right, I got it. So it says here in the book of Sirach 25:7. It is in the Apocrypha. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that has joy of his children, which you can't do right now because they're going to, they control your household and stuff like that. and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. If that female is against you, she can run toward the caucus and have you not really enjoying your children. But if you have a better woman that is not of this world, and the mentality of this world is mindset of the world, then it doesn't matter really what's going to happen. She's going to want to stay with you and the children. You know, stay with you for the children's sake and stuff like that. Maybe when you get older, you might split up in this day and age, but it's not supposed to be like that. Until death do you... Remember that, bitch? Until death do you part. But yeah, it's kind of jokingly said, but it's the truth. It's supposed to be until death do you part. Did you remember that, bitch? More than 70% of the divorces is asked by the woman. So yeah, they got other things in life, you know. But it's all good, you know. I mean, like, I ain't tripping. I don't have a bother from it, I should say. Don't have a bother from it, because I'm not into that little world over there. I'm only focused on spiritual powers and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, and superpowers. I'm not really focusing on trying to get some pussy. It's fun, you know. It looks fun. But other than that, I've seen a lot of trouble with these women. I've been like, you know what? I don't think I want to have that. Because you're going to have a few things once you get a girl. Hated it. Beauty hated it. Fights. Murderous thoughts. I got enough of those already. I don't want somebody next to me with that shit. No. I don't think it's a wise thing for me to be doing. I think I can control myself, but yeah, it's not a good idea. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 explains that to you. It is good for a man not to touch a woman. Do you want to? Motherfucking right, man. But yeah, where's another one? Of course you would want it, but you still have to watch out. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. It's kind of good for you, actually. The book of Sirach 20:4. As is the lust of a eunuch to deflower a virgin. Of course you do want to deflower a virgin. So is he that executed judgment with violence. The people, the cruel leaders, they, just like how a man that doesn't have sex wants to have sex, he desires it. Like, man, I saw that girl today. Oh, going crazy in your mind, right? That's the same way that an evil like a evil Edomite, for example. You got these evil Koreans too. They're fucking wicked. I'll put a few videos in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Like, damn. They just like their daddy Esau. Damn. Yep. And them stinking ass Hamites over there too. They're demonic too. The things that they're doing to their people. Oh shit. Be like, what? Yo, these leaders need to be put to death, man. That's why the Heavenly Father is going to make us to be the real, true, beloved ones. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, man. They're suffering. When the righteous bear the power, that we're going to get them. We're going to help them instead. Not help us and I'm doing it for you because I love you. No, it's going to be on a justice type tip. And then the people are going to love us. They're going to love the true Hebrew Israelites, man. You know why? Because the Most High is going to set it up like that. And not only that, they're going to know, because they're going to say, because it says right here, Isaiah 2:3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. No more flying reindeers. Everybody now on the planet Earth is trying to get some flying reindeers love, and bunnies that lay eggs love, and all that type of crap-a-lony, you know? They want to follow after their gods and their nonsensory and their paths they want to walk. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So all the nations are gonna want to come and serve us, man. They're gonna want to come, just like how they're coming and wanting to come to Europe, wanting to come to America and stuff like that, wanting to go to Australia. What was it again? I forgot their race. I forgot their race. A lot of Arabs over there or something like that. But they're not Arabs. No, I'm looking for them. Damn, these types. These types. They're not Arabs. Some of them are ARAM. Let me see. Australian gangs. Not these ones. You got the no, these are Edomites, but you do have these types. Sorry, you do have these types. I'm looking for that word. There's specific gangs of specific races. You know what? I'll leave it at that. If I remember it, I'll put it in the description box. But you have a particular race over there, and they look like Arabs, but they're not. I think they're ARAM. But anyway, I think it's these type of people. These type of people all flee to Esau. They're not really coming to America. They're going to Australia. And oh yeah, you have the India type people going to where? To England. They're going to England. That's because England was a colony. Sorry, India was a colony of England, and these people, I think that it's not Mongoloids, man. That's not what I'm looking for. You know what? Fuck it. These are Hamites over there in Australia, by the way. Them Hamites go over there in Australia. Yeah, so you have them over there. So, but the point is that all the nations upon the planet Earth, they go to Esau, because that is their, that's the nation that they look up to. That's the nation where they know that they, well, it's kind of fucked up to say it, but they know that they can get a better life compared to their own country. Why you think them Hamites over there? Because them own Hamites, the government is screwing them over. That's why. And if you know about the leaders of the Hamites over there in Africa and stuff like that, man, you wanna, just like how in the book of Judges, we went. Oh, where is it? No. In the book of Joshua, sorry. In the book of Joshua, when we went and goes butcher, slaughter all these Hamite kings, that's what you want to do when you start finding out what the hell these kings are doing with their own Hamite people. You wanna hurt them, man. But we don't have the power. Not yet. So we're waiting. You Hamites is not exempt from the judgment of the Lord. As a matter of fact, you Cushites of the Hamites, you're specifically said to be smoked. Zephaniah 2 and 12. Ye Ethiopians, you Cushites also, ye shall be slain by my sword. Who is the sword of the Lord? The Israelites. You Ammonites, you're going to be like Gomorrah. And you Moabites, you're going to be like Sodom. You're going to be flattened since you love Esau so much. But anyway, so yeah. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.